So after about 2 years, I finally had a good reason to rebuild my big pedal board. My band, who is kind of spread around the East Coast, finally finished recording an album that we've been working on remotely for about the last 2 years on and off. As we got close to wrapping up, we decided we should probably get in a room and play these songs together. So we met up at Dreamland Recording up here in the Hudson Valley in New York and recorded a live session and filmed some stuff, and it was a lot of fun. So of course I took this as an opportunity to put together an unnecessarily large board, because if I didn't, I would have to have this channel revoked for me. I chose all these pedals on this board to basically just cover the sounds that I was making on the record. There are some sounds that might only pop up once or twice throughout the record, but I did find myself returning to a lot of sounds that were maybe combinations of 2 or 3 pedals or more. So I think what I'm going to do is walk through the whole board one pedal at a time and let you hear everything individually, and then at the end I'll go back and kind of show you some of those combinations. Let's get right into it. So I'm actually going to start at the end of the chain and then we'll jump back to the beginning. The first pedal I wanted to talk about is the Surveyor from Electronic Audio Experiments. This pedal I'm using as an always-on preamp kind of thing. I have it as the very last pedal on the chain. I'm a really big fan of having an always-on pedal. I just like having something to kind of give whatever amp I'm playing through a little bit more character. Jumping back to the beginning of the board now, we come out of the tuner and go right into the Digitech FreqOut. The FreqOut is a feedback generator. It's really cool, and I'm basically using it just as kind of like an EBO sort of a thing. Pretty much all the time I'm pairing it with some driver fuzz and some modulation and delay. After that, we go into the Cascader from Mask Audio Electronics and Collector Emitter. It's a really great fuzz. It's a dual fuzz. I'm just kind of sticking to the higher gain setting with the switch to the right for a kind of compressed gated thing. I'm basically just using this to cover any of my higher gain fuzz tones. Next, we've got the Particle 2 from Red Panda. I actually put this on there for a song we ended up not doing, but I found some use for it anyway. I'm using the reverse setting into some drive and a little bit of delay for just kind of like a psychedelic thing in an intro in a song. I love this pedal a lot. I've used it in a bunch of different settings. I kind of wish I had more of a use for it on this board, but it's fun to have anyway. And I'm sure eventually when we play shows again, I'll find plenty more reasons to use it. Next is the Augustus from Dusky Electronics. This is probably my favorite octave fuzz right now. It kind of sits on the cleaner end of octave fuzzes, relatively clean. But the octave can be super pronounced if you want it to be. I've been enjoying stacking this with the Halberd. It stacks really well. After the Augustus, we go into the T120 Deluxe, the V2 from Demedash effects. This is like a lo-fi echo that's kind of meant to emulate VHS warble. So I'm using it for really warped, mangled kind of VHS sounds. I have it up this high on the board so I can run it into the Halberd for just some extra grit. After that, we have the Halberd from Electronic Audio Experiments. This is on for a pretty good portion of the set. I recorded a lot with the version 1 of this pedal. This is the V2. So because I was using the version 1, I keep it in the middle toggle setting, which is just kind of like the standard. I've gotten a lot of use out of both the V1 and V2 of this pedal, and I do think I'm ready to drop my hot take that I think this might be the best overdrive of all time. Fight it out in the comments. After the Halberd, we go into the HPX from Vaderin. I used quite a few variants of the Harmonic percolator on the record. That was kind of my main fuzz sound. And the HPX did a really good job of kind of capturing the feel of all of them as best as I could. It's a really great percolator. I'm a big fan. And it stacks very well with the Halberd. After that, we go into the Sure Shot clipping boost from Greer amps. I really like that this boost adds a little bit of character and obviously a little bit of clipping. I could have gone with just a clean boost and been fine, but there was something really fun about what this boost was bringing to the table for solos and stuff. Now we're moving out of the dirt section and into modulation. We have the Somersault from Caroline Guitar Company. This is a really great chorus and vibrato. I have it set to almost this like heavily modulated slapback kind of setting. It's like a really deep vibrato but with the dry signal blended. And I'm a big fan. I run this again with the Halberd a lot. It's a great sound. After that, we have the Visitor from Old Blood Noise Endeavors. This pedal is really cool. It lets you combine two different modulations. When you turn up that secondary knob, it introduces some lag into the signal, and it almost kind of gives you this sort of warbly, like extreme doubler kind of thing. At least that's how I kind of hear it, and that's how I'm kind of using it. Just a really unique, great sound. Next, we have the Art Van delay from Bondi Effects. This is one of my favorite delays. It's a pretty dark analog delay. Just sounds really nice, great modulation. Not doing a ton of really delay heavy stuff, so this felt like a good choice because it can kind of sit back and add some texture without being too in your face. I have the expression pedal controlling the time on this. Basically, I wanted to jump between settings, but didn't feel like I needed to be as precise as I would with like a tap, and I also wanted some really quick slapback at times that would be kind of hard to achieve with tap tempo. So the expression pedal turned out to be a good move there and makes for some really fun moments where you kind of drop the time really fast and you get these kind of like wild swings. After that, we go into the Caroline Meteore. This is a reverb that has been on pretty much every board I've put together in the last maybe 6 years. It's just great. It's got some really nice dirt on the trails. Kind of has this like broken spring reverb kind of vibe sometimes. I don't know, it just feels good. And I can't seem to find any reason not to keep putting it on my board, so it stays. Next is the Skylar from GFI. I'm using this in the plate setting for just a different flavor of reverb. Kind of a somewhat short decay, kind of tucked back a little bit. This is what I'm using when I don't need the reverb to kind of overwhelm as much as I'm looking for out of the Meteore. Then finally we have the Delta 2 from Spaceman Effects. This is their harmonic tremolo. Just kind of using on a fast setting. It's not set super choppy, which is typically what would kind of be my instinct. And then out of the Delta 2, we just go right into the Surveyor and into the amp. I did just want to add that I'm powering everything with this Walrus Audio Phoenix. This has powered all of my pedal boards for the last 6+ years, I think. It's been around the country with me several times, and it is still going strong. Now I think it's time to check out some combinations.